But even Meghan Markle miscalculated the fact that the United States, it's a country that won its freedom by rebelling, but not by not accepting things at face value. So it is going to be very interesting to see now what happens, because the schools need they need certain documents, period, in order to enroll your child. And you know what's so incredibly funny? That I've seen a lot of messages in the video that I did about Meghan Markle and the school issues she's having with Archie. People keep telling me, oh, with a photocopy, that was fine. That's absolute, and I apologize for that, but this is absolute bullshit. Every school who's half decent will ask you for an original birth certificate with original medical records for the child's safety, to ensure that the child is not trafficked, and to ensure that you're the parents and you have a right to enroll that child. Anybody can fake a photocopy. So this is, when I see those comments, I go, what part of the United States do you live in? Because everybody, I mean, and I have lots of friends. I lived in the States. I went to school in the States, high school in the States, for half a semester, and it was a nightmare because I have to wait for the transcripts. They wouldn't even accept photocopy of transcripts. They had to be in original. This is way back. So when I see those comments, I'm like, where, for me, those are sugars who leave comments just for the sake of being argumentative and lying and justifying why Meghan Markle is like that. Well, hello, beautiful people. I'm in the jungle. Yes, I'm in the jungle. I'm at Volcano Mombacho. One of my friends, she's gone canopying. I can't do it because of health issues, but also because I'm a chicken shit. But Ceci is going to do the canopy thing. This is where they're parked. They have to go up that way. Gonna be pretty cool. Aquí me tenés the cheerleader. You're doing great, Ceci. Yay! Oh my goodness. Beautiful people, who's telling the truth? The palace or Meghan Markle and Harry? I believe that the palace is telling the truth in regards to the birth of Archie. And they're about to release those documents. Please buckle up, because this is going to be very good, especially at the end. I'll tell you what I believe is really what happened. And who is Archie's mother? Who is Lilibet's mother? Who's Betty's mother? Sorry. Yeah, it is going to be very, very, very interesting. So please stay and watch until the end of the video and let me know what you think. Who's got it right, and what do you think Meghan is going to do when the palace releases the real documents? Hello, beautiful people. Well, yes. Change of scenery. I started to do the video yesterday, but it started raining, so I had to come home, and I'm doing it here. The United States is the kind of place where dreams are realized or your worst nightmares become reality. That all depends on who you are. Meghan Markle was a D-list nobody, scrambling, looking for a job anywhere, looking for a man, because she was open about it. She went to the United Kingdom, and whoever she came across, she told them, I want a man. I want to meet a married man. Oh, no, not a married man. I want to marry a British man, right? Why British? Weren't there enough men in all of North America? Did she go through all the men in North America to the point that she had to go find a man in England? What did she do that was so terrible that there was no longer space in such a vast, in both Canada and the United States, such vast countries? So now we have Meghan Markle freaking the F out. Palace is no longer playing nice to Meghan Markle, and she's having serious issues. And you know what? I made a comment about that it would be interesting to see, because Meghan Markle chose to change or removed her Christian names, Meghan Markle, from the Archie's birth certificate. That was not dictated by the palace at all. The reason why Meghan Markle did that is because Princess Diana's, Prince William, and Prince Harry's birth certificates
both of those things, they don't have Diana or late Princess Diana's first names. She doesn't have her Christian's names. Only the Princess of Wales and then Spencer at the bottom. So because of Meghan's absolute insistence on having, copying Diana and feeling as important, if not more important than Princess Diana, wanted to have it exactly like she had it, except that she's not the Princess of Wales. She's not a princess. She's not a duchess herself. She's not a royal. I keep seeing that all the time. Oh, they're going to strip her title. What title? She does not have a title. Okay? In proof of what I'm saying is I'm gonna put a shot right now. I'm gonna show you Prince William's birth certificate next to Archie's birth certificate. And you will see the difference. And then I will post after that. You can pause and read it. And then you can see that Meghan removed her Christian names and had herself only as Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Okay, so please, you're going to see this. Just pause. You're going to see Prince William's birth certificate and Archie's birth certificate, and then you're going to see the correction that Meghan made a month later because she was outraged that Harry didn't get it. He did not get that she wanted. She doesn't want to be a mere mortal. She wants to be a royal. She wants to be ranked, not linked. So I made the comment that if Harry, or when Harry and Meghan divorce, because she has a title, she removed her Christian names as from that birth certificate while being an American, because that, we haven't even started with the legal can of worms in that one. She's an American. So because of that, and let's not forget that in the States, you're really not allowed to use royal titles. So because she's an American, she removed those things. So when she went to the school, when she's going around to the schools, the only thing that the schools can see, because in the United States, it's mandatory that you present the birth certificate of the child. And in the birth certificates in the United States, the parents' names at birth have to appear on the birth certificate, not the marriage. Even if you marry, is not the names that they require. I know I am going to see a bunch of dumb comments from some sugars. Oh no, that's not true. It is true. It's a fact. Whenever you have a child, they don't ask the mother to put her married name. It has to be her name at birth. So Meghan Markle, because she removed her names, her Christian names from birth certificate, they can't take it. They won't accept it. And the issue that she's having is that she's claiming that that's standard according to Palace, which is not the case, because the schools have rightly pointed out that the Queen has all her first names. Harry's has all his first names, because again, that's mandatory. In Archie's birth certificate, you can see all of Harry's names. And the problem that they have, and they're going to have with Lily's, is because if true, because nobody can get a hold of the photocopy or a copy of Lily's birth certificate. I repeatedly myself have asked. So what's happening now is because only Markle appears, and I don't even know, because I can't get the copy of the revised or of the changed birth certificate. They won't issue it to me in the United Kingdom, and that should be because it should be public. You don't get the revised copy. You only get the copy that Harry registered on May 17th. Okay? So they don't show you the correction. So I don't even know if she removed Markle completely, because that would be against the law. In the United Kingdom, you need to have the mother's maiden name. You need to have her maiden name. So I don't understand why they made an exception with her. So she's using Princess Diana's, Prince William's, and Prince Harry's birth certificates as examples to present around the schools, because she's saying, wait a minute, you see, this is standard procedure. But as you've read many articles, even the palace was surprised, because that is not standard procedure. That wasn't, that's something that they did, but it wasn't something that Princess Diana requested at all. So to do that change is baffling to the palace, and for her to blame the palace, it's even worse. So this is why she's having issues, because the schools are not stupid. And Meghan Markle, this is a woman who was handed the world in a platter. As I told you at the beginning of this video, she was a D-lister nobody who went across the pond looking for anybody. And the palace and the world and the United States have had enough. So now the palace is under a lot of strain, because they are being forced and urged to release the birth, like the proper birth, like confirmation of the child of Archie and Lily. They are being, because Parliament wants to see those documents. So far, they bended the rules. What's happening now to Meghan Markle is that the palace, the UK, and even the US are not bending the rules for her anymore. They're not breaking the law for her anymore. They're not. So it's very, very interesting, because this is why she's quiet. And I made the comment, this is where I was going into, sorry about that. I made the comment that when they divorce, because it's the title that's there. If Charles, the monarch, decides that Meghan Markle does not get to use the royal title, because for the 1 millionth time, all royal titles are at the complete pleasure of the monarch. The monarch decides who, what, when, or what removes titles. Parliament has said it. I'm going to leave. You know what? I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to put that up, because this is directly from Parliament in response to petitions from people who wrote petitions to Parliament asking Parliament to strip Harry off the titles. And this is the response that Parliament gave, that all titles, that they can't do anything about royal titles, because those are honorary and belong to the crown. And that they could not do anything about that it's only the monarch. I'm going to put a stop here so you can read that answer directly from Parliament, okay? Because Parliament told us early on, and for some reason, some YouTubers who claim to be royal experts still are saying that it was up to Parliament. And then what's so funny, you guys come up, and I've been saying it for years. For the 2 years I've been online, a little bit over 2 years. And I've been ridiculed, trashed, and called all kinds of things, because other YouTubers were saying differently, who claim to be royal experts. And then, especially one big YouTuber that most of you watch, and a lot of you come and comment in my section, you should go watch this, watch this. No, I don't need to watch anybody. I do my own research, and I bring it to you guys, And if I am wrong, I'm very happy to be corrected and to learn new stuff. This YouTuber in particular came out and said, confirmed, after me of 2 years banging about it, that it was up to the monarch to remove all the titles. You guys came back, oh, this YouTuber just said what you've been saying for 2 years, Paula. You were right. But yet nobody went and corrected that YouTuber and said, wait a minute, you've been saying this for 2 years. Now you're changing your tune. But you guys come into my videos and you call me out, and that's fine. But I don't understand that. I don't understand that double standard. So I'm going to pause this video here, and I'm going to put out here this screenshot from the UK Parliament thing. Please read it carefully, because this was done years ago when people sent the petitions. So now you're asking, why is that important, Paula? Because if King Charles decides that when Harry and Meghan divorce, Meghan will not be known as the Duchess of Sussex or Duchess of Sussex, because when there is a divorce, this very important part gets removed, is the. She's no longer the Duchess of Sussex. She would be just a Duchess of Sussex. You understand the difference? If King Charles decides Meghan Markle does not get to use the royal titles, then it's going to be a predicament. It's actually quite a funny position she finds herself in, because then, since she had her names removed and only the last name Markle, and I'm just being facetious here, I'm just making fun here. If King Charles decides to make Samantha Markle the Duchess of Sussex, Samantha Markle could claim Archie as her own. And because there are absolutely no proof that Meghan Markle gave birth to that child, because to this day they haven't presented anything verifying that the child was born out of Meghan Markle's body, that could be done. This is just a what if, a scenario. Because you see, it's not a woman who gave birth to Archie according to the birth certificate. It's a title. For example, on Prince George's birth certificate, I'm actually going to pause here right now. On George, or I'm going to leave it at the end. On Prince George's birth certificate, it's Catherine Elizabeth and the maiden name Spence Middleton. And then the titles are aside. She has titles and then profession. The title at the time was the Duchess of Cambridge. We know now that title, she no longer goes by that title. She goes by the title of the of the Princess of Wales, right? And the Duchess of Cornwall, and I think they still have the Duchess, she's still the Duchess of Cambridge, right? But that's not her main title anymore. So this is why it's important to put the names in there. This is why it's important to put the maiden names, okay? So this is something that I was just joking about, but apparently got back to some YouTubers. And they were saying, well, that's not going to happen. But it is actually a possibility that we have to look at, because it's just, why not? Meghan Markle shoots herself in the foot every single time. The United States is calling her out. Palace is been under a lot of pressure to release the documents of birth for those childs. And I'm not talking the birth certificates. This is the thing that you guys don't get. The birth certificates are after. We're talking about, it's like the certificate of live birth in the United States for the people here. You know, that's the document you fill out at the hospital saying, oh, this is, and when, so an FYI, because I found this out. When, for example, when Kim Kardashian, for my beautiful new subscribers, when Kim Kardashian, you all know that, when for example, Kim Kardashian and Kanye, they used surrogates. They're very open about it, wonderful. Paris Hilton as well. In the certificate of live birth, they don't put Paris Hilton as the woman who gave birth to the child. No. At the hospital, for insurance reason, and for even if the eggs are Paris Hilton, in the certificate of live birth in the United States, they put the name of the woman who gave actual birth to the child. And what happens is that they later go to the judge, and the judge says, okay, this woman who's in the live certificate of live birth gave birth to the child, but is not the biological mother. We have a contract, so can you please now issue the birth certificate stating that Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are the parents of these children. And it's done. It's not a problem. But in the certificate of live birth, it will always say where the child came from, who gave birth to that child. I think that in the United Kingdom, and please correct me if I'm wrong, they give you like a little, they call it the red card because it's in red. The page is white, but everything else is in red, the outline and everything, they fill it out and said, oh, the child was born, this person gave birth to this and that. So, but that's how it's done. And in the United Kingdom, the child does not belong to even if you're the donor of the egg donor and Harry's the sperm donor or whatever, the child legally belongs to the person who gives birth to it. And it has to go through a process, an adoption process, which is why, and to this day, the law in the United Kingdom hasn't been amended. Adopted children cannot be in the line of succession, even if they're, because people didn't conceive back then, that you would need to, that, you would donate eggs and stuff like that. So that's not in the law. But this was a very great opportunity for Meghan to help change the law. She could have been straightforward coming and say, you know what? I can't give birth myself because of health issues. Can you please amend the law? And I'm pretty sure they would have done that because, you can't be inhumane about that as long as the child has the royal DNA from Prince Harry, because you see, Prince Harry can have any children he wants and they're royal. So this would have been a great time for her to change that. But what did Meghan Markle do? Lie. She lied to the palace, allegedly. We don't know, because even the palace, even MI6 or whatever, don't know. Now, that's what they claim. In my opinion, they've known all along, because there is no way that the bodyguards broke protocol and not notified the Queen, because they're bound by oath to obey the Queen. It's not Harry they were obeying, or the likes of a D-lister like Meghan Markle. The bodyguards, the royal protection officers, notified the palace of when this child was going to be born. It is my very firm belief that the palace got it right and Harry and Meghan got it wrong. It is my very firm belief, because the royal protection officers notified the palace when they were going and what happened. They notified. They're bound by duty to notify the Queen the minute the child is going to the hospital or the woman is about to give birth. They notify the Queen immediately, and the hospital notifies also the monarch immediately. So the Queen's household knew exactly when that child was being born. So I believe that Meghan Markle is not the one who was telling, nor Harry were telling the truth. And I believe that when Harry gave that interview, that's exactly when the child was born, not before, when they said that it was at 5:26 a.m. But that's how the cookie crumbles, and that's just how I see it. But now it is going to be a pickle, because what does the palace do? If they come out now and show the real documents, any way you look at it, there is a lie somewhere. So, yeah. And Meghan Markle is freaking, because now the United States will not accept a birth certificate where the name of the mother is not on it, especially when the mother removed the names. And now she's accusing the palace that it was the palace who made her do it. And she's using Prince William's and Prince Harry's birth certificate as evidence that that's how it's done. Well, that's how they did it. Well, there's evidence to the contrary. And apparently the palace is willing to help her out with that. I mean, how do you guys feel about it? And just look at the birth certificate I'm going to leave of Prince George, and you will see that the Duchess of Cambridge, it is mentioned there, but her Christian names are there as well. Do you think that the palace got it right and Meghan got it wrong? Do you think that the child was born at 5:26 in the morning, or was born around the time when the palace said and Harry gave the statement? I, for one, think that the palace had the right time. What do you guys think?